This is the Sports Den with Denny Thompson and James Coleman on 1010XL.
Man, Blake, you go do you, man.
I'm so happy.
I am too.
The boat still playing, still in the league.
Another chance. Life's about second chances. This man's going to go out to L.A.
That's where his trainer is, right? So he's going to be good. Watch what happens. Goff's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And Blake's going to have a resurgence, and he's going to play well. And everybody's going to be like, the Jags screwed up again.
Good for Blake. I still don't know. If somebody knows, hit us up on the Duval Ford text line or hit me up on Twitter. I don't know what this means for the Jags as far as cap goes. I don't know, like, since we released him, I was under the assumption that since we released him, we just basically took the hit. But Matt and JJ were saying something about we get some offset since he was signed by the Rams. If so, then we need to give a big thank you to the Rams.
Mm-hmm. Rams taking all of our cap space.
Well, yeah. I mean, he comes in, he's planted as the number 2. Again, I don't know how the Rams are doing it, but they continue to sign dudes. They continue to re-sign dudes, and they never run out of cash. Like, did the NFL say we're going to bring a team to L.A. and they're not going to have a salary cap? Did I miss that?
That's pretty much what it is. They're going to let them get away with doing a whole bunch of things different than everybody else. They need L.A. to be successful. Don't get it twisted. They're going to help New York eventually too. Well, I mean, if New York can get out of their own way.
No, that's yeah. By the way, Den Nation, I know a bunch of you dudes have some questions. Dr. Capasso is going to come in next segment. So hit us up on the Duval Ford text line. Let us know what your questions for Dr. Capasso are. It's free advice. Like, free advice. Take advantage of it. Some of you dudes been walking around in a funk for about 3 months to 5 years. Here's your chance to figure out what's going on and get some help. We're really all about the peeps, James. Mm-hmm. It's really what we are. It's so much better, JJ, doing the show in here than in a tent at TPC.
Especially when it's raining.
Well, I was asking right before we came on the air, how was your golf show this weekend? I know you guys have not had a day off in weeks. Am I correct in that?
That's correct. That's correct. We're kind of used to it at this point. Golf show, you say? Were we supposed to talk about golf?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know, but I saw you on the schedule, and I had a chuckle.
Yeah, I don't think
Just thinking about James breaking down what's going on during the players.
Did you watch the end of it, James?
No.
Really?
No, I wanted to go train.
It was exciting.
It was. It was a great tournament.
I heard. I mean, I listened to a little bit of Lamb. Lamb was excited.
Oh, yeah. That's his World Series, dude.
Was Lamb a Rory McIlroy guy?
No, he's just a big golf guy and big Jacksonville guy, and this is a big golf tournament in Jacksonville.
I had a way to break it down. JJ, good to have you back, by the way.
It's good to be back.
Sorry that you got sent back down to the minors.
I wouldn't call the drill the minors, my friend.
No.
You got sent back
to
down
us.
to us.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I mean, the drill is where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you have one of those contracts where you get paid more to do the drill than you do our show?
I can't disclose that.
yes. NDA.
Mm.
So we'll just say he's taking a pay cut again. Nobody else would produce our show. Everybody else was tired of it.
Cash, homie. We rolled through, 3 producers last week. Had to circle back around to JJ.
We interrupted E.T.'s Muppet Babies or whatever he was watching.
Yeah, we'll tell you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, good for Blake. Good for you, man. You go do your thing in L.A., pay those high taxes.
I mean, he's got the money now.
He's always had the money.
Well, I mean, our story is better.
Okay, go ahead.
That Blake is getting the money, all his monies
Mm-hmm.
from Jacksonville, and now it's just Christmas. It's just his tax money is going over. He's got one of the best accountants, I'm assuming, and they're going to make sure he keeps as much money as possible. That 18 whatever is going to be straight Florida tax, and then it's got to be, right? Because that's who's paying him. And then L.A., when L.A. writes him a check, he has to pay the taxes on that money.
Mm. We made it 5 minutes into the show, and 655 hit us up on the Duval 4 text line, and I quote, "Why does JJ always sound high as a kite?"
I mean, is that really a bad life?
Because he is.
I mean, is it really a bad life? Just think about the dynamics of this show.
Mm-hmm.
The Dread is the only sober guy and
Whoa.
the brokest guy. You have the bag man over here in one Denny Thompson that gets paid by 52 different schools, as he said last week. And then you got JJ, who gets paid to do a job, and he can be – and he's celebrating our new governor, who's made smokable marijuana legal as long as you have your card. And he gets a chance to earn a living. I mean, I need to get some gummies or something.
But you're going to Jamaica next week.
It's not the point. It's not the point of any of this. I'm going for JJ.
Oh.
I just want to say this guy that's sullying my name on the text line is labeled by some producer or radio host as "I am stupid." So I don't respect your opinion.
Oh, wow.
Saying that I sound like I'm abusing drugs.
Wow, JJ.
Well, he didn't say you were
JJ
abusing.
went
Well, I
right
don't
there.
use drugs.
It's not an abuse.
So I didn't write that, by the way.
I think you should
I am stupid. So someone else has that opinion of you.
I think you should just embrace this, JJ.
I mean, you never know what you'll get. What kind
Stupid is spelled wrong on this, too. I don't even really get it. And then there's this new texter immediately right when I said that. JJ sounds like, quote, steal the show person, which that's a homeless lady, so he's making fun of me. He's labeled as...
No. So you can't be doing this to these peeps. They're going to stop
Why?
texting.
No, this one's great.
We're going to do a whole segment of
Bedwetter.
JJ ranking on our texters.
Bedwetter.
You know, James...
Like, how are these people getting labeled these obscure names?
I don't know.
You know, James didn't...
I thought that was their real name.
James thought these were his... They gave their names for the first year. James would actually call them by whatever name we called them.
Can we say a really funny story?
Right now?
About that, yes.
Go ahead.
We have a night show.
Okay.
So, James, not knowing that these were fake names that people were given on the text line, we're reading them off like you said. So there was a guy who had said some racist things.
Yep, James called him
during, I guess it was the kneeling period with the Jags, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he was labeled David Duke
Yes.
as the former Klansman leader.
Right.
And what I'm doing right now, Bedwetter, Mr. Sketch is another guy. Of course, James reads, "Oh, we get a text from David Duke."
David Duke says.
Hilarious.
Hey, what did Florida State do to everybody to piss everybody off, man?
Just be Florida State. I mean, I'm at the point now that it just people, ESPN and everybody else just hates us. So that's okay.
Well, ESPN don't have anything to do with y'all being this seed, do they?
I mean,
It's not like
Billis
ESPN's picking the
is
team.
ESPN, right?
Yeah, but he's not picking the team.
Yeah, but I mean, just when you listen to all the coverage of the Florida State games, it's pretty much like, oh, they actually called us a JV team when we played Virginia. And I'm like, man, wow. They might be the most disrespected top 10 team in the nation.
Y'all are in the top 10?
Yes, and we're a 4th seed, which makes absolutely no sense.
Wait, y'all are in the top 10?
We finished the season in the top 10 when they just did the updated polls. I personally think they already had us as a 4th seed, and it wasn't anything. The ACC tournament didn't mean anything. I mean, we have the same seed as the team as Virginia Tech, who we beat. We are lower seed than LSU and Purdue, both teams we beat. And we have better records than them. It ain't just about beating them. We have better records, and our resume is better than theirs.
But hold on. Y'all, they did put you guys in a very favorable bracket.
Yeah, we get a chance to see the team that demolished us again if we get to the Elite Eight.
Elite Eight?
Appreciate
bro.
it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hold on, no, time out. Because 2 years ago, y'all were talking about how y'all couldn't win a tournament game.
No, I
And now
agree.
you're projecting ahead to the Elite Eight.
No, what I'm saying is if we get hot, we get the honor of playing the alien. The guy who has a specialized shoe.
Wait, when would y'all see them?
The Elite Eight going to the final, like the game before the Final Four. Like we get an opportunity. Like we do have. It seems favorable to get to that point, and you get the honor of getting beat by 10 again, possibly 20.
I mean, not so easy. You could have no blowout or something.
I said, well, 20 would be clearly a blowout.
No, he could have a blowout, another shoe go. Because without him, they're nothing.
That being said, this is how I know I've grown.
Go ahead.
Part of it is I also knew we didn't really have a chance to win, but we had our chances, and I didn't spaz out. We just lost.
No, you haven't grown. You just don't care anything about basketball.
That too. But I don't care to harm or talk bad about our 70-year-old basketball coach who does not look 70.
No.
I wonder if he sees Capasso.
We'll have to ask him. I'm trying to find you guys. Where are you guys at? You're in the West, right?
Yeah. We get an opportunity to travel thousands of miles because we earned our seed to play a team that only has to travel
now,
hundreds of miles.
You guys wouldn't see Duke until the Final Four, bro.
It's the Final Four?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
my bad.
You've got Vermont, and then you're going to have –
we're playing on Vermont's home court.
Then you're going to have Marquette, and then you're going to have, like – man, stop. And then you're going to have, like, Gonzaga or Syracuse.
I don't want to see Syracuse.
And then you'll see, Michigan, Texas Tech, something like that in the Elite Eight. And then you won't see Duke till the Final Four.
Okay, my bad.
That is a very favorable.
No, you're right. If we get to the Final Four, I'm good. I'm more than good. I'll lead I'll champion the campaign to get him a raise and a lifetime contract, which
he kind of already has.
Could be a year, could be 20. Who knows? Like the doc told my grandmother, who was around the same age, like, hey, you've lived a long life. you get to pick the way you go.
Bedside manner.
I was like, I almost choked him.
If you got any questions for Dr. Capasso, hit us up on the Duval Ford text line right now. When we come back, we're going to get to him. We're also going to get to some mock drafts. I just saw somebody. I'm so tired of the freaking draft. I love draft time, but it seems like we have been talking about draft for the better part of 10 months, and we're still, over a month away?
Yes.
We'll find some new mocks and see where people have the Jags going at this point. Of course, we will, talk quarterback situation because it's looking more and more and more like we may have that choice at 7 on do we take another quarterback, a quarterback who's probably the best quarterback in this draft, or did we sign our dude and keep it moving? We'll talk about all of that after we get to Dr. Capasso coming up next.
You're listening to the Sports Den on 1010XL.
Denny Thompson, James Coleman, and the Sports Den brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Make sure you get to ABC. It's an ABC kind of week. Some of you have kids on spring break still.
Yeah.
What is that? St. John's and Clay?
And the private schools.
Okay.
I think Episcopal is on.
Okay. So you got kids at home, you're going to need to drink. Make sure you get by ABC. If you need some cigars, get to thehumidor.com. Type in Sports Den when you check out. You get 20% off plus free shipping at thehumidor.com. We're going to go straight from that to Dr. Capasso.
Seems right.
Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, we figure if we get you into ABC enough, then at some point you're going to have to lose some weight too. So then you go to ThinMD, thinmdmedspa.com, a list of everything they offer and their locations. But we got the man, the myth, the legend in here with us, Dr. Capasso. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Great?
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. You too. I was telling him I haven't even been in there in like 2 weeks.
You're avoiding it.
I'm avoiding it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get on the scale anyway.
Come on, man.
This dude, all right, so.
Come on, bro.
This dude eats everything in sight.
That's not true.
I was with him. I was with you this weekend.
I ate a sandwich and I ate peanut butter and jelly Welch's things that were delicious.
Okay, all right.
Y'all ate the brown. Y'all ate all the brownies.
You want to do this right now? Saturday morning, before we even get on air, he's having tacos and tequila. Okay?
Breakfast of champions.
Right? Then we get on air and he's having the sandwich. No, he has 2 peanut butter jelly, like little not homemade things, like the little package.
The little
things.
ones you get for kids.
Right. He's got 2 of those.
Yeah, that like that, just like that.
Yeah. 2 of those. Then he has the regular lunch that they provide, plus cookies, plus
I ate 2 of those. I ate the healthy cookies.
Several sodas.
He said he was in training.
I drank 2 sodas.
And so
you're going to tell me
you're going to tell me you're not eating? But the bottom line is he still comes into you and he's lost 5 pounds.
He's in training.
Training for what?
Dude, if you walked as much as I walked
Are you
on Friday and
serious?
Saturday, like I could eat a little bit. I needed nourishment. Like I felt like I did a full body workout on Sunday. Like when I almost didn't make it. Like the bed won. The bed clearly was trying to get a TKO.
Yeah.
And then when I woke up, like everything from my neck all the way down to my Achilles was bothering me.
Let's start there, Dr. Capasso. Talk about sleep. Talk like how much should a person have? How much is there such thing as too much? Like is the pattern the more important thing? Talk about sleep specifically with mostly male listeners that are in a full-time job, full-time family.
A lot of people in sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sleep is extremely important for your overall health because if you're not sleeping, your stress hormones go up like cortisol, and it just makes everything go down, including testosterone, and puts weight on your belly, makes your insulin levels go up, makes your sugars go up, makes your blood pressure go up. So sleep's real important. And everyone's different. So, do you feel rested when you wake up is one of the questions I'll ask my patients, because if you feel rested, then you probably got enough sleep. Somewhere between probably 6 and 9 hours, but it's going to vary from person to person. There's studies that would suggest that if you sleep too much, that you're probably not, as healthy, and if you sleep too little, you're probably not as healthy.
So when you say you wake up and you feel rested, who feels rested right when they wake up? So you wake up in the morning, Dr. Capasso, and you feel like I'm rested, I'm ready to go, at it.
On the nights that I sleep well, absolutely, yes. And I don't get that afternoon tiredness on those days. Now, the days that I don't sleep well, yeah, then my focus isn't as sharp, and that I'm not as energetic, especially in the afternoon. I'll lose a little bit of energy.
So, do you have do you make sure you get in bed at a certain time, unless we call you in here, of course, but do you make sure you get in bed at a certain time, wake up at a certain time, no matter what's going on, or do you
pretty much, yeah.
Are you kind of fluid with it?
No, pretty much. My clock is set. I mean, I don't have an actual clock, but my body, I wake up every morning at the same time, and when I start feeling tired, I go to bed.
Wait, you don't set an alarm?
No.
What time do you get in the office?
8 o'clock.
Wow.
But I'm up at 6:30 pretty much every day.
I mean, even when I sleep in, 7 is the latest I sleep in, unless I go right back to sleep.
I wouldn't be able to sleep because I'd be worried about oversleeping if I didn't set an alarm.
I mean, I have an alarm, but there are times when the alarm isn't heard. Can you make up sleep?
Oh, no, absolutely. So there's something called sleep deficit. So if you, for instance, aren't getting sleep for 3 or 4 days in a row, you'll get a deficit of sleep, and then what'll happen is maybe 4 or 5 days later on the weekend you'll catch up.
Okay, so that's what I do. So I'm up every morning at 4,
right?
And I'm going till midnight some days, unless I get a nap, which is hour maybe 2 max. But like on Saturday, I'm like I get excited. Like Friday, like right after the show, I get excited. They're like, James, what are you about to do? I'm like, I'm going to sleep.
Is that okay from a health perspective to do it like that?
Yeah, that's a normal response to not getting
so
enough sleep.
if you like with our schedule, it's kind of crazy. So if we did set aside like James does, Saturday I'm going to sleep late and I'm going to sleep a lot. It's okay that you're not getting enough during the week?
It's not okay because it messes up your hormones. But your body's just telling you, hey, you need to reset. You need to start that.
Don't be walking around with messed up hormones.
I don't want that.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we talk about testosterone a lot in our talks before. I don't know. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. But now every other commercial you hear on this station and every other station is ED commercial. Like, is it really that big of an epidemic that it's like all you hear about now?
It's extremely common. Low T and erectile issues are extremely common. When I first started practicing 25 years ago, I didn't see as much of that. And I think now that it's okay to talk about it, I think guys are more open to saying something, especially to their physicians about it. So, but yeah, I mean, testosterone levels for a lot of guys, I mean, I would say over 60% of the guys that come in don't have optimal levels. And, one of the things that you mentioned, poor sleep, is one of the big drivers for having low T.
So that was my deal when I first started with Dr. Capasso, is my testosterone levels were low. And a year and a half later, the thing that I wonder is, why didn't I even know that it was so simple to fix? You know what I mean? That's almost like it's so simple, it's silly to be walking around with low testosterone levels.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons for low T, but that's one that's easily fixable. Absolutely.
Yeah, so make sure you get to Dr. Capasso at ThinMD, because that could be like the root of a lot of your issues, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if your T is low, you probably aren't handling your sugars either. So, there's a lot of early diabetics that have low testosterone. So it affects a lot of different mechanisms and processes in your body.
All right, so summer's coming up. Let's talk about like the effect your body has on your mindset. So here's what I mean: is I'm either super motivated as far as exercise goes, or what happens to me, and you know this, is my knee or my back goes out, and then I get completely unmotivated. Why is it so hard to get back motivated? Why is that such a big health obstacle of not even necessarily the diet, but exercise, or maybe it is diet? What is it inside of our bodies that keeps us from doing that on a consistent basis?
A lot of it could be driven just by thoughts, and
Like a pizza?
like a pizza, exactly.
That
You
gets me
had a
right.
lot.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of reasons why you lose motivation, right? You've attained a goal, right? I mean, people that come in and we lose weight, they attain their goal, and then they don't care, right? I did it, and I've lost the weight, and then they just kind of get a little complacent, and they get back. When you get injured, it's hard, because if your motivation is based on a feeling or a look, and you get injured and you're not allowed to train again, it's like, well, shit, I can't train. I'm going to, oops. I can't train, and lo and behold, I don't feel good, so I'm just going to keep doing that. So,
Yeah, it's one of those things, man, that mine is, I've got to get this like knee situation and all that stuff done. But you're so right, James. And see, this is where I'm jealous of James. Why are you doing that?
Why are you jealous of
legit
me?
jealous because you
got a stogie and he doesn't. That's why he's jealous.
well, I don't smoke.
He dips.
But James don't even have to really think about exercise, and he can drop weight.
Yes, I do. I have to at least think about it.
But when was the last time? I'm not making fun. When was the last time you had a consistent exercise?
Consistent?
Yeah,
It's been a minute.
a
I
minute.
go on waves. Like when DeMarcus was here, I was working out with him.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone. He
Oh.
went back. But even then, it wasn't like I didn't do every workout.
So is that an
Like
age
2 or 3
thing?
days.
Because I'm a little older than he is.
A little.
I'm a little older than he is. Is that an age thing, or what is it?
No, I think it's more how much stuff you have on your plate thing. And I think if you're extremely busy and your stress levels go up, it's a lot easier not to train on a regular basis.
No,
and
but
not
I
to
guess
feel
what
good
I'm
on a
asking,
regular
though,
basis.
is how can he continue to get results by not working
I'm
out?
sh-
Where the minute I don't work out,
I'm stressed the hell out.
but he's saying that shouldn't be helping you.
Oh, okay. Maybe I don't know. But it could
yeah, it should.
being up.
You're an anomaly.
Could being up like 16
In
hours.
a lot of ways.
Could being up like 16 hours a day. Could that have something to do? Because I'm like, it's
But
it's
that
not
would
a.
usually make you put weight on, wouldn't
But
it?
I'm moving 16 hours a day,
Well-
except for 2 of them when I'm here.
So there's so many factors that play a role in why someone's metabolism is faster than others, right? And hormonal balance is probably one of the biggies. Gut health. We talked about sleep. Other hormones like cortisol, insulin, testosterone.
When you say gut
they're-
health, what do you mean by gut health? Because you say this a lot to me, like just in like when we're having conversations, you're constantly talking about, doing more studies on gut health. Or this is good for gut. What is that? What is gut health?
Sure. So what we found out from a lot of clinical studies is that all the bacteria that live inside us play an important role on how our body runs. So, whether you have high blood pressure, whether you have diabetes, whether you're depressed, whether you have extra weight, is all driven by kind of these bacteria that live inside us. We call them probiotics. And we have over 100 trillion bacteria and about 85% of them that are in our gut are healthy. The 15% that aren't, you want to keep those 15% down. And so I'll see patients that come in that may just have a little bit of mild bloating, or they don't have regular bowel movements, or they avoid certain foods like dairy or wheat or gluten. They just don't feel good, and they don't eat many calories, and they can't lose weight. They're exercising regularly, and you start to look at those foods that they're reacting to that's causing inflammation, and lo and behold, you remove those, they start losing weight. They start feeling better, a little more energy, a little clearer focus. So what we found is that really how important the gut is. And I mean, there's clinical studies where they've looked at rats. So they take these rats, and the rats that are overweight, they look at the bacteria in these overweight rats. They put that bacteria into thin rats. Okay, so they do what they call a fecal transplant. And the thin rats now get fat. And they did the reverse. They put the probiotics from the thin into the fat, and again, the fat rats get thin. And they think that things like gastric bypass, the reason the majority of the weight loss that occurs in gastric bypass has to do with the flora change. So they know that after gastric bypass in rats or in humans, that bacterial shift changes, and how they metabolize changes with it.
For the better.
For the better, exactly.
Also, how much water you like? I remember one of the things that I got coached on heavily was drinking, half your body weight
at least
in water.
Yeah,
drink a ton of water. That's what people think my car is junkie. Is literally Starbucks water cups and 1.5 liter water bottles.
See, you're taking this personally. I was giving you a
no,
compliment.
but what I'm saying, I was telling you, I drink a ton of water.
Water's important.
I drink a lot of water.
Are you counting the water inside of the alcohol?
No, so the alcohol doesn't count. That's extra liquids.
Oh, okay.
But no, I make it a personal habit to make sure I drink. I think it's about 1.5 gallons of water a day.
So if you could give one piece of advice to your average male, like if you could say, this is the one thing you need to do to live a better life, a healthier life, what would it be?
You got to eat healthy. You got to eat clean. I mean, hands down, you have to eat.
That's not what they wanted to hear.
Well, you asked one thing.
I know.
That is the thing. If you don't start there,
mm-hmm.
you're just not gonna feel better. You're not gonna make any gains.
I got a question. Everybody's talking about. We got to read this text too while we got Doc.
Go ahead.
Asking for personal advice, but before I go to that, I remember you were telling me there's a website that you have where we can get some of these vitamins, or you can get kind of based off of what your lifestyle is. You can actually fill this out, and you can get advice on the supplements that you need to take?
Yeah, so I think the easiest thing is if you're interested in kind of getting a basis, kind of what systems in your body are not working, just call our office. Call the office. We'll get you set up for a free consult, and then we'll get you set up for the email for metabolic code. And a friend of mine put that together. It's incredible. And it'll take a look at the kind of top systems that aren't working right, and what natural things you can do to go ahead and start seeing improvements and fixing that.
Before we read this email, I want to piggyback off of that, James, or this text, is if you guys, there's a lot of professionals that listen to our show, believe it or not, and one of the things that I think is the coolest thing that you do is the executive program that you have. If you can give us a quick minute synopsis into what that executive program is and why it's one of the more popular things you have, I think that would be helpful to some people.
Sure. So I work with just a handful of people, and really getting their health into an incredible optimal place. And it starts by just doing a deep dive. I look at the nutritional and metabolic markers. And then we start working on strategies, and one-on-one time with me essentially is what it is. And usually it's it's for 6 months or a full year is what I'll do.
And James and I have done this. And James, you can tell me if I don't want to speak for you. You can tell me if I'm wrong. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome to get that initial snapshot of why you feel the way you feel, and actually see that a lot of it is very fixable. That's the cool part. And then just to have that access to Dr. Capasso of, hey, this is what's going on. And usually there's a pretty simple answer for you, not for us, but you can come up with it pretty quickly, and it solves the issue. If you can do that executive program, I'm telling you, I don't think there's anything you could do to change your life for the better than the executive program with Dr. Capasso. Let me read this text to you, Doc. It says, "Dear Doc, I turned 50 last September. About 3 weeks ago, I hurt my lower back trying to lift something off the floor. Never happened to me before. Now I'm worried about working out to build some muscle up so this doesn't happen again. Is there more to worry about after 50 for just light workouts? What kind of vitamins should I be considering to keep my energy up?"
Okay, so there's about 3 questions there.
Okay.
So I think, with, depending on how active he was previously, if he wasn't active previously, for back, core is always going to be part of strengthening those back. And then understanding what the injury was from. If it's just muscle spasms, maybe he's not drinking enough water. Maybe he needs some electrolytes because, he's training a lot. The one thing that I noticed with patients and myself personally as I got older is that, electrolytes were, in hydration was huge. And so just getting that, sometimes that'll be a way of preventing that. What was the other question?
What kind of vitamins to keep his energy up?
Yeah, so
steroids and weed, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's not. Never mind. Okay.
No, so energy is interesting, and I think I've talked to you about this previously in the past. When I was having some issues with energy because I was burning the candle at both ends when I was in residency, I started looking at things that improved my cell's energy naturally. So I started taking combinations of nutrients for that, and I formulated Mitoblast 2, which I know both you guys are on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible because I look at it as exercise in a bottle because as I'm reading these clinical studies, I'm thinking, okay, this particular nutrient like resveratrol, which is in blueberries and red wine and green tea, these are all nutrients. And when you start looking at how they work the same way that exercise does. So when you're running, your body stimulates these pathways inside the cell that makes more mitochondria. And mitochondria are these, not only the powerhouses that produce energy, but they're your metabolism centers. So the more that you can maintain as you get older, the better your metabolism is, the slower your aging is. So Mitoblast 2, that's my go-to every day. And that's really what changed my health over, within a very short period of time, within about 2 months. I wasn't getting sick anymore. Just an incredible supplement. You can probably attest to.
Oh yeah, we talk about Mitoblast all the time, and we tell people if you don't do anything else, just go by there and pick up a bottle of Mitoblast.
Yeah, that's great.
And my wife is, addicted to the stuff in a good way. She's a 5th grade teacher, and it has stopped in its tracks how much she was getting sick. Yeah. She used to come home every other week sick, picking something up from those dirty kids. Now it's not that case at all anymore.
MFTK, man.
Yep,
MFTK.
exactly. So one more question. 548 wants to know if his James Coleman diet is okay, which is his diet of lemon pepper wings 7 days a week. Is that okay?
I don't eat lemon pepper wings 7 days a week. Yeah.
My favorite, lemon pepper.
Is that frowned upon?
That is frowned upon, yes.
Okay. So keep it to like 4 days?
Eat a salad with it. Like eat
a salad with
it.
See, the answer is always, it's a salad, right? 'Cause
put the wings on top of
Put
lettuce.
the wings on
there's no nutritional value of salad. You got to get some color in there.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Doc, we appreciate it, man. And thinmdmedspa.com is where you can go to get information. There's 2 locations. There's one in Jacks Beach. There's one in Mandarin right next to Bonefish Grill. You can hear Dr. Capasso. You can tell, the dude knows this stuff. Get in there. You'll feel better. I'm convinced if you just walk in there, you feel better, but that's not scientific.
It's an overall gift.
Is that right?
Stop getting your wife these lame-ass flowers.
Yes.
She doesn't want a teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want, she probably still wants to go get her hair done and her nails done and all that stuff, so do that. But give her the gift of you. Like what you were when she met you. Give her that. That's what she needs. And you can go get this from Dr. Capasso. I can't vouch for anything else, but I definitely know you can find the inches and the energy that used to be there. So, and that'll keep her.
And then you could actually go there and get her a legitimate gift as well for her.
Right.
What's the most popular thing right now for women?
Hydrofacial.
There you go.
Yeah.
Clean face.
Yeah, clean face.
There you go. Dr. Capasso, as always, we appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Mock draft talk right when we come back.
You're listening to the Sports Den on 1010XL.
If Johnny Football can get a gig in the AAF, why can't our boy James Coleman? 422 wants to know.
Because James Coleman, you missed a couple weeks ago where I officially retired.
Oh, that's correct. Yes.
Like I had never submitted the paperwork or let the world know. I figured I was motivated by former Florida cornerback, now substitute teacher. I don't remember his name.
I don't either, actually.
Ahmad Black.
Ahmad
Yeah,
Black.
Ahmad Black.
Yeah, when Ahmad, felt the need to tell us what we already kind of knew, where we figured out, I figured I needed to make sure that my fans knew that my career, my fan knew.
My fan.
Knew that my
His
career
mom
was
knew.
over. Yeah, my mom knew. So you guys can stop asking me. It ain't gonna happen. So quit asking. In the words of the GOAT, Nick Saban.
In case you missed it earlier, Blake Bortles will be a Los Angeles Ram. You sent me something on Twitter earlier talking about James O'Shaughnessy is visiting up in Pittsburgh. I don't, for the life of me, understand, unless he gets some contract that I don't foresee, I don't understand why you let the one pass-catching tight end you have go, same way you let Corey Grant go. Like, I still don't understand the
It all
Jags
makes sense to me.
theory.
It all makes sense to me.
Does it?
Because of Jags.
That's just it.
Yeah, because Jags. Like we don't need you. Like we're taking the Patriots model.
One problem.
Wouldn't that be crazy though? Like really, wouldn't it be crazy if all of a sudden the Jags won with a bunch of no-name players, and and all was right with the world?
It'd be amazing. It would be amazing. Somebody actually asked me today about Nick Foles. They were like, okay, he's 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
30, 31,
Something
whatever.
like that.
And we were talking on Sunday about the age of the upper echelon quarterbacks. And so there was a two-part question that a guy asked me today on the phone. It's like, one, given the way that he plays, why couldn't Nick Foles play till he's 37, 38? Fair question, right? He's not a runner.
Mm-hmm.
He is like these other guys that are playing that way. And two, where do you rank Nick Foles in the rankings of quarterbacks? So if you were going to do a power ranking, 1 through 32 of starting quarterbacks in the NFL, where does Nick Foles fall in there? And we talked about this the other day about how much you're going to have to pay him. Like, is he in the top 15?
I mean, that's a high place to put a guy who is technically the backup.
That's why I'm asking you. Okay, let me rephrase this. If you were picking quarterbacks right now, 1 through 32, would he be one of the first 15 you take? Because I would make the argument that I probably would take him over Carson Wentz right now.
Okay.
So where would he be? I mean, I think that's we can sit here and we can talk about, does he fit in Jacksonville? And we've made our opinions known, and I will continue to make it known, and I will continue to give the one caveat of I don't think they're done making moves. I'm not convinced they're done with Fournette, like in the sense of I think he may be on the trade block, and so I'm going to hold off really getting after the organization for this until I see after the draft where they end up. But when you start looking at quarterbacks league-wide, where does Nick Foles fall?
Okay. Gonna pull something up.
He'd be the second best quarterback in the AFC East.
Okay, you said top 15.
Yeah.
All right, Big Ben. Right? You take Big Ben over him.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Matty Ice.
Come back to that. That's a maybe.
I mean, he's been third in the league in passing yards. Jared Goff. Okay. Andrew Luck.
Well, hold on. Y'all jumped to Jared Goff? Like, is Jared Goff that much better that it's just a jump? Like, you're going to take Jared Goff over?
Yes.
Fourth overall in passing yards. That's the only reason I'm saying.
No, just move that. What I'm saying is move that up.
I'm going just down the list of who are the top passers. So,
Oh, okay.
so Jared Goff.
But you're going to come to Blake Bortles in a minute.
No, not really.
I mean, if this was
No, I'm looking at it. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Go
so, Andrew Luck,
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers,
Yes.
Thomas Brady,
Yes.
Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
I'm going to skip this guy because I believe he's better than him. Kirk Cousins,
Well, who was it?
Eli.
Okay. Yeah, I would take.
Kirk Cousins.
I will.
You want to hold off on that one? I'll give you that. Hold.
No, I think I'll take Foles over Cousins.
Okay. Deshaun Watson,
No, I'll take Watson.
Derek Carr,
I'll take Foles over Carr right now.
Drew Brees,
Oh, no.
Dak Prescott,
That's a tough one.
Matt Stafford,
Another tough one.
Carlton Banks,
I'll take Carlton Banks all day.
Baker,
I don't know.
All right, so right now I just
JJ, what's going on in there?
I just rattled off a list of names, and there were 3 maybes, but I'm already on. I was on the 18th passer.
Yeah, but I think a couple
There's
of those
only
you
one
could make an
name.
argument. Like what would you take? Would you take Dak or would you take?
I would take Dak.
Really?
You are
Yes.
crazy.
What
Yes,
are we
I would
crazy
take Dak.
about?
Dak sucks.
Okay, I would take
Who
Dak.
did you say whoa about when I said?
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Dak, right? When you were like,
Kirk-
I'm not
I said
sure.
I would
Kirk
take-
Cousins. I mean, I know you wouldn't take him over Drew. I mean,
He would be the star. Okay, let's do it this way. He would be the starting quarterback at Buffalo, Miami, the Jets, the Giants,
mhm,
the Redskins.
mhm.
Right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going down.
But he would be at Pittsburgh, KC.
Well, hold on.
Atlanta.
I'm going to do it this way. He'd be the starting quarterback for Baltimore. There's 6. The Bengals, there's 7. I don't know about the Browns.
You think he would start over Dalton?
Oh, no question. No question.
Like I'm saying, right now you haven't named a team that was in the top 15.
Let me finish. Hold on. Calm down. The Bears, yes. He's better than Trubisky.
Okay.
I'm going to come back to the Lions. The Packers, no. The
Oh,
Vikings,
Stafford was the
yes.
one I laughed at. Stafford's way better than Nick Foles.
Man, come on. Stafford just gets back there and chucks it all around the yard.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
all
I
he
want my
does.
quarterback to do.
That's all that Joker does. The AFC South is probably, one of the best quarterback divisions right now. He'd only be the starter in Tennessee, right? So there's 10. What about Carolina? Right now, as it stands,
No, I would still take Cam.
you take Cam the way he's
Carolina.
played the last couple of years. I mean, I'm asking, like
No,
Cam
yeah.
the last couple of years, you would take over Nick Foles?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. Okay, would you take him over Jameis?
No,
You take Jameis over
I
Nick
would take
Foles?
James. I would take Jameis over Nick Foles.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you on that one too. He started Denver. He started Oakland. He start for the Cardinals.
He'd start over Derek Carr. You would start Nick Foles over Derek Carr.
If everything else was equal, same salary, all that. Yeah.
Okay.
The only reason why I would rather have Derek Carr is his youth. I think his ceiling is higher. But
Okay.
if I'm trying to win right now, yeah.
Okay.
And then just Arizona in the West. So yeah, maybe the answer is he's right there in that 15 to 18 range.
Okay.
Maybe that's the answer. Because there's some that I would take over him, there's some you would take over him.
Because in the top 20 that you just mentioned, you picked 3 teams.
Well, no kidding, because it's a quarterback dominant.
But what I'm
league.
saying is, like, my only argument wasn't anything with that. It was just that he wouldn't be a top 15 quarterback day one. That's my only argument.
Well, here's the other argument, though. None of those other cats are available.
I got it, but I'm just saying, like, nobody's making that change. Like, the reason you said Carolina would not make the change if all things were equal. And I can tell you right now, Tampa Bay had a situation where they could have made all things equal, and they took the 5th-year option on their guy with a coach who knows what he's talking about. So that's the only reason, like, with Jameis, that's the only reason. But even Jameis is, right, well, he only played, how many games? Jameis only missed the first 4 games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
3 or 4, yeah. Whatever it
He was also benched like midway through the season, then came back. It was a bad year for Jameis.
Right.
Nobody knows what Jameis is right now. I think the best thing that's happened to Jameis is this recent hire in Tampa. And if over the course of the next 2 years Jameis isn't doesn't perform.
Oh yeah, he'll go the way of Blake.
Well, we'll know what he is, in other words. Right? I mean, we'll find out what Jameis is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
it's ironic.
You're not going to have, unless you draft them, you're never going to have a top 10 quarterback because nobody's going to let a top 10 quarterback go.
Say that again.
I said unless you draft them.
Nobody's letting a top 15 quarterback go.
Well, I think this is a different situation than most. I think this is a situation where.
And the problem is that it's like when you look at Carson Wentz's stats, I mean, even with her, 3-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Like you think Foles is better? What was Foles? Was Foles 3-1?
At his time in Philly, I would think so. Yeah, under that same system.
I can find him. Like he played a significant amount, didn't he? Oh, here he is. He was the 34th. He was 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions last year.
This past season?
Yes. Pretty high completion percentage though. 72.
He really only had 7 touchdowns?
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, man. Again, marketing and what people say is key because his stats. Winning is.
That's not counting playoffs.
No, yeah. No, I'm just looking.
You don't want to count playoffs.
The problem is the playoffs is like he is the man when it comes to the playoffs.
Not so fast.
You don't want to count playoffs either?
This past year?
Yeah.
Completed 60% of his passes, had 3 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Ugh. Okay. Well, you don't want to.
Now, the year before, he balled. Completed 73 and had 6 touchdowns and 1 pick in the Super Bowl year.
Like his last 3 games in the regular season, I didn't realize this. He was on fire against Houston. 71. He was 35-49, 471 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's
You want to hear something crazy?
What?
The Super Bowl year, 2017, is what's making Foles this money, right? Thank God they made the playoffs because his season stats.
I'm looking at it right now.
Terrible.
5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
56% completion.
He got sacked 5 times. 6 fumbles.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Lost 2, but 6 fumbles. He had 4 fumbles in 2018. Lost 2. Rushing yards. Where is it? 3 in 2017. 17.
Well, nobody expects him to run. That's.
I'll say. 2016. 2018. He did. When he got in, he played tremendously better.
His year was 2013. Let's be honest. He 27 touchdowns, 2 picks. Like that's the year that had Nick Foles stick around for the next 4 years until he got his next chance. But
even then, he threw for it was under 3,000 yards. Man, he was crazy.
He only played in 10 games.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's still.
He came in relief and played in 10 games. He averaged almost 300 yards a game.
Right.
Touchdown percentage that year of 8.5%.
That next year in 2014, he was 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Right. And then 7 touchdowns, 10
if we look at 2012, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah, for his career, he's 2-1. And that's taken into account a year where he was 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
St. Louis, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Yeah.
It's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to be okay. It's going to be good.
I was just simply asking a question. I wasn't trying to get on the Jags. All I'm simply saying is he a top 15 quarterback? And this is the same conversation we were having last year with Blake, if you remember.
And all I could say was coming off of that last season, Blake was a top half of the NFL. And all I can go by is what I see. Statistics, like not just the film. The film, the stats. I believe the situation isn't as good here. And that's the biggest problem that, I think, people can say whatever. We just don't have it.
We don't have.
Like, we don't have the receiving core. We don't have the tight ends. We don't really have the running back. Like, it's a lot of unknowns that, like, I would just have to, like.
Here's actually a really good study. What was his worst year? 2015 St. Louis?
Yes.
2015 St. Louis Rams roster. Let's compare rosters. Let's do that when we come back with 8 o'clock. We'll be right back.
You mad, bro?
1010XL, 92.5 FM. Join us in the sports den. Call or text 641-1010.
Open up your heart and let that hate out.
It's hard to have a legitimate 8 o'clock when Dr. Capasso comes rolling through. So we'll have a continuation of our previous conversation for 8 o'clock tonight. Brought to you by Luce Air Quality. That's LUCE airquality.com. Go check them out for environmental testing, home or business. Make sure you get your air taken care of. You don't want to have dirty air. Like, it's so easy to get the testing done. They'll come out to you. They'll have a full test done in no time, give you the report. If there are issues, they'll point you in the right direction. They don't solve the issues. There's no conflict of interest. But they'll let you know where to go to get them solved. And if you don't have issues, you get the peace of mind of knowing that you've got good air quality and you can continue on and nobody's getting sick from your air quality or anything like that. Headaches, nosebleeds, things like that, always humid or moist in your home or office. You look up and there's black spots by vents. Something along those lines can indicate bad air quality. Make sure you get to Luce Air Quality or call 904-803-1014. That's 904-803-1014. Before the break, we were talking about Nick Foles, and I said, maybe the best thing to do is take his worst year he had, and let's look at the roster he had then and compare it to what he has right now. That makes a little bit of sense, correct?
Yeah.
So I've got the roster up. I don't know, do you have it up as well?
I'm getting it up.
I've got the roster up. His running backs that year, and what they did is this is people that were at some point on the 53-man roster. So, like, they have 5 running backs listed. But you can look at this and know who the main ones were. The main one was Todd Gurley. Oh, I think he was a rookie that year. I remember Trey Mason. So not a Benny Cunningham. Not a loaded running back thing. So I would give the edge probably at that point, if you're comparing from that point to the Jags now, probably to the Jags. Unless you can look up Todd Gurley's 2015 stats.
I had the wrong Rams. Okay.
You had the wrong Rams?
I had the wrong year.
Oh. I was like, how does that happen? I mean, I think the easier – I don't know.
Todd Gurley's rookie year.
Was 2015 his rookie year?
Yeah. He thought he did pretty good that year.
Did he? I don't know. I can't remember last week, much less.
Yeah, he over 1,100 yards.
Oh, dear.
10 touchdowns. Averaged 4.8 yards a carry.
21 receptions, 188 yards.
So I would say
they probably win that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So at receiver, Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey, Kenny Britt, Chris Givens, Bradley Marquez, and Brian Quick.
Wes Welker was there first. Well, was on the roster, on the final roster.
I mean, that's not an overly exciting receiver roster, right?
But Tavon is 10 times better than anyone the Jags have right now. At that time.
At that time? Did you look it up?
But I just remember him being
not really
fairly decent, which I can't say anyone on the
being
Jags
really
is fairly
overrated.
decent.
Tavon Austin is Chris Connolly.
Yeah, in 2015,
as a totality,
He had to have been their leading receiver.
Bro, he had 52 receptions for 473.
Oh, it's 473?
Yeah, in 2015. That's not good. He has had a crappy career.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the highest output he's had in his career is 509 yards in a season?
Well, now they just give it to him on end arounds and stuff. He's not even relevant.
Now, to be fair, that year in 2015, he did have 434 yards rushing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Jared Cook, better.
Yeah, better at tight end. Jared Cook, Corey Harkey, and Lance Kendricks. Point being, he didn't have a good roster, which means he didn't have a good year. What was the record of the 2015 Rams? Do you have that up?
I'm gonna assume 7-9, because that's just what Jeff Fisher does. Oh yeah, I was right.
They were 7-9.
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
Three Pro Bowlers. Aaron Donald, Todd Gurley, and the punter.
I don't count. For that year, he only played 11 games. So he must have got hurt.
Case Keesum.
Oh, is that who came in?
Yeah, he was on that roster as well.
For that year, with that roster that's comparable, he completed 56% of his passes, 7 touchdowns, 10 picks. Threw for 2,052 yards in 11 games.
Yeah, Case didn't do very well either.
What do you honestly expect the Jags to do next year?
That's what we're trying to get to. Like,
But
our
for
whole
real,
point
I
in
mean,
this,
9 wins is like the max.
if they win 9 games,
Yeah,
man.
this would be-
I'm
that'd
saying
be a
that would be
hell
the
of a pick.
max they could win.
That's a good pick.
But okay, so why did you sign him?
I didn't sign them.
No, no, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah,
the only
yeah, I
reason why
got
you
you.
would go and spend money on Nick Foles is if you thought you could have a 10-win season and win some playoff games. Otherwise, go draft somebody. Or here's a thought: give him some weapons. Any weapon,
Quarterback weapons.
except for Brady. Brady,
Yes.
he could have
Yes,
our
yes.
roster. And
That's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe they're just saying that we're going to really embrace the Patriot way.
Yeah, one problem.
I've never been to a jail.
Not that Patriot way.
Yeah.
So we're all going to massage parlor.
I hope our guy can't have that kind of heat. He can't get arrested. They would have a field day on that one.
Who, Marone?
No.
Oh,
Shot.
Shot? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We're going to beat this to death over the course of the next, whatever it is, 7 months, whatever it is. But I'm trying. That's the point. I'm trying to understand, like, how this whole thing's going to work and how it's going to be, this great thing. I guess here's what I'm saying, JJ. See if you follow me on this. I can't understand why everybody's so excited.
Because Blake's gone, and they're trying to do something. It is the biggest quarterback on the market, so they're trying to do something, it appears. But, when you really take a look at it, they threw a bunch of cash at a guy who's not necessarily too proven over his career.
Have you seen the video of Blake with the Magic Mike shirt on?
No, I don't even know what you're referring to.
Like,
I know the movie.
Saying he
Magic
signed
Mike.
with LA.
like saying he signed with LA and he's happy to be that doesn't look like that. Looks like a guy relieved.
Oh, you're talking about just the 4-second clip of him
Yeah.
being like, "Oh, welcome."
Like, I
it
mean,
looked like, yeah.
he
In
looks
Hard
like,
Knocks, it's
"Thank
the
you."
same thing when
Well, he's-
someone's getting cut.
To be fair, he's happy because he's going to LA. He's not starting. He's getting paid.
Think of a
the
better
dude-
place for him to live than L.A.
The dude is like, he just hit the jackpot. He gets out of all the memes and everybody making fun of him. He goes and chills in L.A.
Disappears for
There's a
couple
bar
years.
on every corner.
He's really good friends with Jared Goff, I believe, as well. So
Duval Ford text line. When we come back, I want to get to highest salaries at every position. This is interesting. I want to get to that, but before we do, let me get to the Duval Ford text line. 422 says 10-6. 10-6.
That's what I'm talking about.
But then he follows up with Tua, best quarterback around the corner. Haskins will bust, maybe. Well, either say he's going to bust or say he's not. And no, I cannot get behind Tua at the NFL level right now. I don't know why. There's something that I see that I just can't. And Tua's the best quarterback around the corner? Are you saying, like, I guess you're not counting Trevor?
Nah, like Trevor's the next class.
Okay.
Around the corner is like next year.
716 says, Denny, bro, Cam Newton has been hurt, and he has no weapons except an often injured tight end and a pass-catching running back. Cam is underrated.
That pass catching
716.
running back's pretty good.
Yeah, 716. Bro, look at his weapons compared to what we got here.
To his
All right,
defense,
underrated.
wide receiver, the wide receiver ain't really that great. He had a
Cam
guy.
is not underrated.
He had a guy, Funches, whose claim to fame was some reporter coming up with the most BS attribute, embracing the physicality of running routes.
I mean, that's not his fault.
I still still don't really understand what that means. I've literally never heard anybody else use that other than her since then.
I mean, that's not Funchess' fault. He didn't ask her to say that.
No, I'm just saying, but like it's not. Oh man, he's been really getting wide open. He's just been in. When I hear that, it means he's basically getting no yak.
503 says the FSU blinders are for real. Winston better than Foles. It's a tequila and tacos type of Monday night, huh?
I agree with the tequilas and taco type of Monday night, but we just went through all of his stats. He's never had a year that's better than anything that Jameis has done, except for the one. No, it's 27-2. Like I gotta give him that. That my bad. That'd be a hater. Not saying that wasn't impressive, but we are looking at if you told me, because to me right now it makes absolutely no sense. Like we essentially did for Bortles what we did for Luke Jokes. Luke Jokes got cut and ended up going somewhere else to start, correct?
For a year or two.
For a year, whatever. But
he's out of the league now.
I got that part. But we could have we already paying him. We could have kept him as a backup. Let's say hypothetically speaking, you let Blake start the year, right? Foles has shown you that he is really good coming off the bench and leading you wherever you need to go. The starter part, is the hard part. Like, he can't finish a season.
Bro, I am not going to let you sit here and say that they should have kept Bortles on this
roster. Whatever. Bottom line is, I don't care about that. Bring somebody else in. Get us to the playoffs and put Nick in.
Well, who's going to get us to the playoffs?
I don't know, but Nick doesn't. Not Nick. Nick has shown you that
you're
he
better
can't.
Than that now.
Nick has shown you that that's not what he does. Nick shows up in the playoffs.
Do you think that Jameis could get the Jags to the playoffs?
No. Not with this.
No.
Okay, thank
I don't
God.
think
it took
anybody
you way too long to answer
No,
that.
I don't think anybody can get us to the playoffs with
Anybody. Damn.
Except for one Thomas Brady.
Brady, Rodgers. No, Rodgers didn't even get his own team in the playoffs.
Rodgers had a team that was that everybody was hurt, that they did put up a really good fight. I don't think they made the playoffs.
Breeze probably could.
I'm trying to think. Well, you know what? I'll give you Breeze because Breeze has made guys like Pierre Garçon.
Yep.
A lot
of guys have eaten off of Breeze.
Yeah.
Rivers? What about Rivers if he came here with this defense?
No. Because Phillip Rivers has gone years and years and years and years now. I mean, essentially what we're saying is...
Yeah, Rivers didn't make the playoffs, but he didn't have a defense like
he made
this.
the playoffs this year.
No, but I'm saying he didn't have... he's made no-name wide receivers good, too.
Here's what it is. We have a roster that is exactly where they finished last year. This is a 5-11, 6-10 roster right now as it stands, and what you're looking for is a quarterback that can get you 3 to 4 wins. You cannot sit here and keep saying the defense is going to win us football games. That's not how it works in the NFL. The defense can keep you in football games, but you got to score at some point.
That was our problem. Our problem was we couldn't get 3 touchdowns consistently.
So you guys aren't overly pumped about the Jeff Swain signing?
Oh, I mean, I couldn't sleep at night. I was so excited about Jeff.
Pumped.
What's his name? Swain?
I mean, we signed Boy.
Oh, boy.
Old boy from out Cincinnati.
Who are you?
Didn't Parnell say that?
Yeah.
As a certain
to
point,
a tight end.
The tight end came to the side. Like, what's your name again?
Who are you?
That's my problem is, maybe everybody, because they never played team sports, they don't look at it like this. They look at, okay, we got one player. I look to the guy to the right and the guy to the left, and hey, is the guy to the right and the guy to the left any good? It's a team sport.
This is an interesting piece right here by Daniel Jeremiah, who I think most of the time is really good. He's not a clickbait guy. Quarterback team fits after the 2019 NFL free agency. So in other words, like Josh Rosen, where's his best fit? Not where's he going to go, but where's his best fit? We'll get to that coming up next.
You're listening to the Sports Den on 1010XL.
It is the Sports Den, brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, coming to you from the ThinMD Med Spa Studios. Talking some Jags football, Jags quarterbacks, and that gets the phones ringing. Let me grab the phone lines real quick, and then I'm going to get to these 2 different things. One by Daniel Jeremiah of quarterback team fits after the first wave of 2019 NFL free agency. I read this, and it just angers me a little bit, so I'm going to read it. But first, let's go to Lewis first. Lewis, how you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm good.
Good.
Listen, you guys are looking at the Nick Foles signing wrong. The reason they got him is because we lost 7 games last year by 7 points or less. 4 of the 7 by 3 points or less. Can he give us at least 7 more points than Blake Bortles did? The answer is, I believe so. I believe they believe so. Also,
I don't.
The quarterbacks that we have is way below 70% or 70 rating on the QBR. When Blake Bortles posted 70 QBR, the team was 9-0. We have the defense in place to where we can get.
Lewis, can I interrupt you for a second?
Go ahead.
You're not listening to what we're saying. What we're saying is he was in Philly doing all these things you're talking about doing with weapons and in an offense that fit what he does. He's now in Jacksonville in an offense that wants to be downhill, run the ball, which is not the type of quarterback he is. And he don't have any of the weapons. None of them.
I understand that. But here's the thing. It's like the people on Facebook, my friends on Facebook, when Antonio Brown was out there to be had, some people was like, well, the Jaguars should get him. We should need weapons. First thing they say is, who's going to throw them the ball? We get Nick Foles, who is he throwing to? It's like you can't get everything at once.
No. You haven't listened to our show. We've been talking about for 2 years with Blake, he's got nobody to throw to.
Oh, I know. I think Blake makes our receiver worse than what they are, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a way to look at it.
I believe with Foles, they will show what they can do better because the ball's going to be on time and it's going to be more accurate.
Okay. All right. Let me grab. Appreciate the call, Lewis.
Real quick. So, when did Fournette's first game was against who?
Man, I don't know.
But he missed like a significant part.
I can't keep up with
So
this.
when I'm looking at the score, so Tennessee Titans, we lost 6-9. That was one of the losses. Could having Fournette make you better that game? I don't know. Let's see. The next game, lost to Philly in London. Could a better run game help you win that game? I don't know. Losing to Indy. I mean, it's a lot of other things, a lot of other factors.
The first Indy loss was on the defense.
Okay.
Remember that?
There you go.
That was a 29 unanswered, yeah.
Pittsburgh game? The first loss, we didn't know what to do with the tight end, right?
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, some of these games.
Fournette missed week 5 through 8.
So he played in the Titans game the first. He
played in game 1, 4, 9.
See, that's so stinking ridiculous.
Yeah, he missed like a couple right after the first game and then a couple after the fourth game and just.
Okay.
Let me grab Eric real quick. Eric, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Okay. Just wanted to call in. I heard y'all discussing earlier about Foles and some of the disappointment in what you heard and see in his stats. And what I had to say is this. You're right. Y'all are correct. Foles makes no sense if you look at it from stats. But stats do not tell the true story. Check out his Wikipedia pro career, where a timeline will bring us all back to where it all started and how we got here. And his timeline shows that he is very special. He has never been the preferred quarterback of the systems he was in. But when placed in, he excelled. And when he gets hot, he is hot. And it's unquestionably a top 10 quarterback in the league. Remember, fellas, it's all about the eye test. And on one last note, Barone has stated in the offseason that a change in the offensive approach is critical going forward as the league is changing. And I'm out.
Okay. Unquestionably a top 10 quarterback in the league?
We don't believe you. You need more people.
I mean, you know what? I'm just going to go
It was
to the
2-1
Daniel Jeremiah thing.
2-1 touchdown to interception ratio quarterback in college. He's a 2-1 touchdown to interception quarterback in the pros.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really good year. I mean, it's not I don't think people are really fully listening to what we're saying. I don't care if Nick Foles is the quarterback. Great. I have no choice. He's going to be our starting quarterback. What I care about are who he has to. Like, perfect example is this. I love steak, right? Steak's delicious. Chicken's delicious. Do you ever just eat steak and chicken by itself, Denny? You typically have something to compare.
I'm the wrong one to ask because I do the keto thing.
Well, for whatever. Like, nothing makes a main dish better than the sides. We don't got no sides. And the problem is they ain't going to get you full.
I mean, we just literally had to get confirmation on what games our star running back played in. Y'all just think about that for a second.
And then, like,
he's missed so many, we have no idea what games he actually did play.
Then also to say Doug Marrone and what Thomas said, the old man. If our offensive line gets better, our offensive line gets – I mean, all the excuses that we can use that why Nick Foles will be good, you know what else we can use that for? Why somebody else might have been good. I guess my problem is I just don't know. I don't know what else is going to be. I need other moves.
422 on the Duval Ford text line pointed out that Jags receivers dropped nearly 30 passes last year. That wasn't Bortles' fault. For the most part, 422, you're right. Now, there were a couple of those.
He threw some Hennessy bottles.
Woo, those things were wobbling, knuckleballs.
Now, that might – you know what? If somebody – that's a good argument. If somebody comes to the fact that Nick throws a more catchable ball, maybe – all right, I'll give you that. Our wide receiver core will be better because they actually have a ball that will probably be placed a lot better. But
and spinning correctly.
But I think we went through – was it the Super Bowl year or was it last year? We went through and we said, like, a lot of people give Tom Brady and a lot of these other quarterbacks that are elite a little bit more props and not understanding that they throw bad balls too. Each quarterback, I guarantee, if you really go through the course of a game, you're going to probably see 5 to 6 balls that aren't perfect. But a receiver has to go and get it. That's what they pay you for.
661, no, we didn't block you. I just saw your earlier text. I'll get to that in just a second, talking about Fournette.
We wouldn't block you.
No. We'll get to that in just a second. I want to get to this Daniel Jeremiah thing. So Daniel Jeremiah says, okay, now that the first wave free agency is done, let's take the quarterbacks that are available or look to be available, and let's talk about where they're the best fit at. For example, he says Josh Rosen, team fit as the New England Patriots, is where he would be best available for obvious reasons. He could go sit behind Tom Brady, learn the system. He's got 3 years and $6.2 million remaining on his rookie deal, and the Patriots could get him for pretty cheap. So good. Now, I read that, and it irritates me, and I'll get to that in a second. Kyler Murray, best fit is the Arizona Cardinals. Dwayne Haskins, best team fit, the New York Giants. The reports are the Giants haven't been doing their homework on Haskins. Drew Lock, Washington Redskins. Daniel Jones, the Los Angeles Chargers. Don't disagree with that one either. Ryan Finley, I disagree with this one. The Miami Dolphins. I don't think you want to put Ryan Finley in somewhere where he's got to go in right away. Dude's got an elite level arm, but that decision making is a little iffy. He's going to need some time to understand the NFL game. He got away with a lot at the college level. Then he goes on to say who else could be in the quarterback market, and he mentions guys like Clayton Thorson, who is Northwestern's quarterback, middle round prospect, Gardner Minshew, Brett Ripon. You know who nobody's mentioning, and I feel like I'm freed right now, is everybody was talking about Will Grier. And sometimes we have this radio gig, we have to kind of step out and say something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with the time when I said Will Grier ain't no good, everybody was still saying Will Grier was potentially a first-rounder. Nobody's even talking about the dude now. Nobody. Like, I'm telling y'all, this dude, he ain't going to get picked in the second round. He may not get picked in the third round. Average, at best, arm strength. Average. Here's what makes me mad about this. As I start looking at some of this stuff, I start looking at the fact that Josh Rosen can be had for a third-rounder, and on top of that, he only has $6.2 million remaining on his rookie deal. Not next year, overall, James. We just gave $22 million.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 third-round picks. We could have grabbed him, had a quarterback on a rookie deal, and still had a third-round pick. And then I hear that the New York Football Giants are not even doing their homework on Haskins. They're trying to make a deal for Josh Rosen, and we're going to sit there at number 7, and Haskins is going to be available. And we can't take him. It's just Dang it, Jags. I'm trying, man. It's like I'm trying.
Imagine going right into the draft and you're looking like you're going to get Haskins or somebody like that, right? And then there's this guy. You got $22 million available, right? This guy named Golden Tate that the New York Football Giants went and gave him the money.
Probably gave him too much, but
fair enough. But he could have got a hometown discount. Well, it's not really hometown, but him and Jalen, they're family. Plus, state tax would have came into effect.
Because Jalen seems like the kind that gives discounts.
Well, I'm more so saying hey, Golden, slide through. You can hang out with us for a little bit.
Right.
We got a built-in babysitter because that's what little sisters are amazing for is babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a wide receiver that can help with your younger wide receivers. Now you can go either draft a guy or, again, use your third-round pick to go get a Rosen. It's so many other moves that other people are showing us that you can do.
Agree.
And you set up your quarterback for success.
Whoever that quarterback is.
Whoever it is.
Yep.
And that's all I want to see is just a quarterback set up for success.
We said this before they signed Nick Foles. So don't try to hit us with we all just being negative. No, we were talking about this for a while.
661 brings up a good point. And this is funny. Now, just hear me out. This doesn't mean anything. Young Simba, they're hanging out, Dwayne Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
Young Simba, slide through. Would like to see you in the Jag uniform. Multiple players tweeting, hey, we would love this pick. That's what they're saying for the potential of a guy to come here. Another guy comes in, looks like a substitute teacher, looks like my child's pediatrician, looks like a youth pastor. Yo, your shoe game whack. Like a lot of, that's fun. Manny Diaz looks like a crooked youth pastor. That's some fun. Now, he doesn't look like a crooked youth. I would go to his church. I would send my son.
You're talking about Foles.
To Foles. Like, now, Manny Diaz, I don't know. I believe he takes tithe money. But anyways, that's besides the point. It could be locker room banner, but it's just a little bit of a different type of energy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. 661 also says, look at it this way. Now we can have Foles, and if James is right, we get that Clemson kid. Fair enough. Like, tank for 2 years and bring Trevor in.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I'm about to say the Clemson kid.
Yeah.
You wanted the guy who's finally being released to play NFL after he's played college 50 years?
The receiver.
Hunter Renfrow?
The tweet that 661 was talking about earlier was Fournette tweeted a couple days ago, they talking trades, and all he posts is LSU clips, no Jack clips. I like Leonard, but what about the hate with the Jags or what? I heard he was okay to play in Week 8, and he didn't play for 3 games when he could have. I don't like that whole Week 8 thing. That was kind of weird because they had a bye week the next week. Like, if he was questionable, we talked about it then, I would have sat him too. I don't know what Fournette's deal is. I have no idea. Here's all I know is let's assume he's healthy. It's my only point in this whole thing for the last week is even a healthy Leonard Fournette doing what Nick Foles does best does not suit Leonard Fournette. Period. No matter how healthy he is. He's not a stretch runner. Guess we're going to be saying that until somebody proves us.
I want to be wrong. Again, our job is so much easier when they win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's is this our final break?
He so looks like
dang, we are flying through today.
He looks like I'm going to talk to your manager.
Yeah,
like
see,
I'm going to write I'm going to write a stern email, you joker.
All right. When we come back, I want to talk about that. I'm tired of hearing how Nick Foles looks, though. We'll do that when we come back.
You're listening to the Sports Den on 1010XL.
All right, can we stop with what Nick Foles looks like? Like, the dude is an NFL player. Yes, he may not look like an NFL player, but he is one. He's proven that he's an NFL player. It doesn't matter that the dude likes to dress a certain way I don't understand that whole thing.
I think all NFL quarterbacks are.
What do you want
nerdy.
him to be? Seriously, what do y'all want him to be? What is it that y'all want him to be? What?
They want him to be Cam.
Yeah, y'all want Cam. What do you want? I don't understand.
I definitely don't want him to be Cam.
All
I don't
NFL
want him to be
quarterbacks
Pops.
are like nerdy, like kind of lames.
They kind of just let me do that as long as it's working. I mean, if you do those things and it's not working, they'll shut them down really quick. But
old Kermit Mahomes. But do balls. How many 20-plus yard plays you say you had? 75?
Yeah.
70, something like that? I mean, dude can ball. I mean, Drew Brees ain't swagged out, but he can ball.
Nobody's like, oh, Phillip Rivers, that guy's dripping.
Yeah.
His drip game.
I
mean,
Johnny
know Brady.
Manziel was that dude that was worried about how he looked. Look how he's turned out.
He'll be that dude in the AAF this weekend.
Foles, I heard you already listen. I heard you're already addicted to the sports, Dad. Thanks. People telling me that. I don't care how you look. You get out there, you spin it, and you win some games, and you'll start a whole new trend. That's the same thing. Trying to show us
Do you think Nick Foles would spend $120 on a pair of socks?
No, Nick Foles wouldn't. No, and that makes him
a normal person. Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Agreed.
spend $120 on socks either, though. But
if you spend $120 on socks, you're like certifiable. I don't care. Why would you buy Gucci socks?
Socks, bro.
It's
Nobody can see them.
And no one can hear you. You're off the mic.
Put the mic down for a second.
You're pulling your socks all the way up just so people can see them.
Like,
is that what's hiding these streets now?
Why do you want to wear Gucci socks? And those are Reebok socks that I'm looking at, by the way.
That's what I kept thinking.
Yeah,
like,
Vetments is Reebok, but it's just like the high upper brand of Reebok.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold
So
on.
it's like buying a Rolls Royce.
Bruh.
BMW owns Rolls Royce.
Bro,
But
no, it's not like buying a Rolls Royce
No,
at
it's
all.
not, because a Rolls Royce is actually like a really good car.
This is
that,
really
like,
good quality
doesn't
stock.
lose value. You can sell a Rolls Royce 10 years later and still recoup most of your money, if not make more.
You're also,
So to be
people see
fair,
you in the Rolls Royce.
look,
Who's looking at your socks?
Like you're
People in the drip community. Look, to be
in the
fair,
drip community.
Listen,
what kind
listen,
of
There's
what kind
a
of community
community now?
is this?
Listen,
do you have to come out? Like,
you have to
I mean, is there
understand.
like do you make an announcement? I'm a part of the drip community.
Does your
calm down,
parents
calm
know
down.
that you're in
Do
the
your
drip
parents know you're a part of this drip community?
Calm down. So the reason I'm saying this is comparable to a Rolls, because somebody will look at a person who buys a Rolls Royce like, why would you spend that much on a vehicle? Now, granted.
So you're saying
you can
these
see the
socks
Rolls
is like a
Royce,
class?
You see
like,
it, you drive it, all that good stuff. So the same thing goes for people who buy, like, one, you could afford buying $120 socks. Secondly, you're going to be around more like-minded people that know you're wearing.
I don't want those kind of people.
If
in my
I'm in
life.
a
Or
exactly,
knowing you got.
if I'm in a whole group of people that spend $120 for socks, I'm in a whole group of people that's in credit card debt up to their eyeballs, and probably some of the brokest people that I know.
Like, if you would have told me,
I mean,
all right,
true.
I'm with you on the painter sweatshirt,
Right.
like a little bit.
It was okay. It
like,
grew on me.
People see it and like, but like Reebok socks that you can literally go to Finish Line and go and spend $20 on 10 pairs. You're spending $120 on one pair.
Now myself, I'm not buying the Vetmint socks. Like
what?
The badminton socks.
No, Vetmints or Vehemints.
Thin mint socks.
Vetmints. I don't know how you say it. It means like clothes, I think.
Oh my.
Means
It's
something, but-
you know what it is? It's French for stupid.
Oh man,
That's what it is.
It possibly could be.
Wow.
But I'm not buying the socks. It's just on there. Some people like them. Some people are gonna spend their money on them.
I'd take Foles dress code over.
You take Foles dress
over
code?
$120 socks.
Dude, I
Yeah.
can't trust a dude that wears Chuck Tees, man.
And y'all can trust a
khaki
dude
pants.
that wears
I don't mind
$120
Chuck Tees. I don't
socks.
like
You
the way he
definitely
tied
can,
them.
because he cares about how he looks.
No.
If I care about how I look, I care about every other
no,
aspect of my
no,
life.
No,
The
When you walk out
socks-
the house looking like that, you don't care what people think about
1,
how you
2,
look.
3, 4, 5. There's 6 grown men, semi-grown men in this room. How many of us noticed anybody's socks today? Raise your hand. There you go. No hands were raised. Nobody's walking around looking at
socks that were hard. Like when I had my Gucci socks on the other day, like people understood. Like, okay, Off-White with the Gucci.
Who
he
understood?
coming a little different.
Who understood that?
Them girls?
That's what you want. You want a girl that's with you for your socks.
No, you understand. Like this is how he's coming. Like, he could come a certain way.
Yeah,
it's different between Nike socks and them double G's.
Double G's.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Don't worry about it, Denny. The drip community.
Oh.
That is the new hashtag. The drip community approves of $120 socks. Oh, man.
James, but didn't you know what double G was?
I still don't know what double G is.
Gennady Golovkin. Oh, it's triple G.
I have no idea. I don't need to know what double G is of $120 for socks.
Jeez. Man.
Keep spending $120 on socks, you're not going to have a G. So you're not 1G.
You're buying the Rolls Royce of socks.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You know what? You're a grown man. Spend your money on what you want to
My
spend.
thing is like with clothes, socks is under your shoes, so like you can't even really see him. Like
I don't even want to know what he's spending on underwear.
Like check it. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's
How
almost
much
like
do
the
you
person
spend on
who buys the
boxers?
bins then gets like a mink foot placement on the back seat that no one's gonna see just to get it because it's like I could get it.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Like when you okay.
But
when
are
go
you
buy
are
Maybach,
you at that
I've
level
never
of
been to the
wealth
point-
though, or you're just spending
when
because
when
you
go buy
can
Maybach,
spend?
You could customize and get different. So you're like
You're trying to
your
compare
car-
socks to cars.
to a high-end car.
I'm just helping you understand
I'm
the
lost.
levels to it. It's the big flex. It's like
we really just spent 10
it's
minutes.
like no one's gonna see
on
this,
the
but
drip
I'm
community.
just so when a person does see it, they're gonna be like, dang,
If
he going that hard to where he made sure the socks was Gucci. He made sure the socks was Prada, Fendi.
Whatever helps you make you sleep at night, man.
I'm just explaining.
Do you sleep in those socks, or do you like only wear those socks
who
at a
isn't
certain?
knowledgeable on it will be, you know.
Shout out
I
to
feel
shout out to @RealBlue4 on Twitter because this
know?
is the best thing. We're gonna call him Stan. You remember Stanley from Friday?
Mm-hmm.
That's Nick Foles. Foles looks like the next door neighbor who will snitch on you if your grass is not cut.
Get off my lawn.
He's the guy who turns me in every week to the community
100%.
patrol.
Grass.
Oh my God! Now it makes sense.
100%.
I knew that guy.
He spends as much on socks as I spend for a whole month of lawn service.
Dang,
That's you know what when you
Whole
put it
month?
that way.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep.
sheesh.
You
I
can't,
could
Marvin.
get
You
your
don't
grass
get
cut.
to Marvin. You don't get to talk about Nick Foles for 2 weeks.
I can get your grass
After that,
cut.
man.
Ah, jeez.
315. We don't want to know what the drip community is. We don't condone that in my household. We go to
Thursday
church on
night.
Sundays.
Thursday night, if you want. If you want to come out Thursday night, we're at Gators Dockside in Jordan Creek. Friday night, we're at Mr. Chubby's in Fleming Island. Come out, join us, watch some NCAA tournament games, show some sports to in love. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9. No, we won't. 10 to midnight, Tuesday night. We will see you guys then.